All right, so why is she so happy to be on a slackline? I will tell you, is because the slackline she's on is roughly 85, 90 feet, and it's in our front yard. And to accomplish that, I had to build an A-frame. And I wanted to build a hanging frame, kind of like all the ones we saw from the GGBY videos from the last GGBY, but I kind of wanted to make mine a little different. And so here's what I came up with. I'm hoping my idea makes it so it's easier for me to move around. I could have different length legs, so it's not just really tall. I could have short legs or long legs, and kind of, you know, just make it easier and less cumbersome and not have to have any tools with me if I wanted to move it or adjust anything. So here is my little hang frame. Kind of have a couple 10mm oval quick links, soft shackle. All that looks pretty simple, pretty standard as far as hang frame goes. Whoopee slings back. But where you'll notice is I don't have a threaded bolt going through there. I actually have a quick release bolt, like a quick release pin on a web lock. This is longer than that, but it's the same idea. And so you can see right there, that's threaded. And that's a sleeve that matches perfectly for that quick release bolt. And so what I did was I inserted the nuts into the wood, as you can see, so they don't spin. There's one on that side, that's just the head of the quick release bolt. And then that middle sleeve's threaded, so I can actually adjust the length of those sleeves, so I can adjust this spacing. I can make it wider or I can make it shorter so they're all the way touching. So I can put different stuff in there. If I didn't want to put the two quick links there, I could put, you know, something else smaller. I could put one big ring or whatever I want. I can adjust that, and it doesn't take me any tools. All I do is push the button on the pin over here. The pin pulls out, and I can use my hand and unthread that. And I have two individual legs, no tools required, easy to move. I could then have different length legs, like I said, and use different lengths. So I'm gonna show you guys that, but I'm gonna de-rig once she's done walking, and then once I'm done, or when she's done walking, I'm gonna de-rig, take it in the backyard, and I'll show you guys how adjustable it is and how you don't have to have any tools with you to do any of that. So yeah, she's gonna fall off. We're gonna see if this thing moves around. So go ahead and fall off. A little bit, not much. I don't think that was anything, you know, shocking or alarming. It seems really solid. I threw this together this afternoon, you know, in a couple hours of trying to figure out the correct hole sizes and stuff. So that's pretty exciting. And she fell off and it hardly moved at all. Seems really solid. Really happy about that. There's the length of the whole line. You probably can't really see on the GoPro that well, but like I said, it's probably about 90 feet long. Would be my guess. My 80-foot piece of webbing could not fit this, so I had to use my 130 piece. So yeah, let's de-rig, take it in the backyard, and I'll show you guys how easy it is to adjust that spacing. All right, so we brought the A-frame inside instead of doing it outside. It got too dark outside. We were having too much fun and didn't get off soon enough. So had to bring it inside. Gonna try to film this on the table. So as you saw coming up the boards, these are just boards that I had from a pallet I got from work, so they're nothing special. And I just kind of sanded them, and you saw the whole ends are all marled up and stuff. But just, it was free wood that I used. And then what I did was I drilled some holes and actually countersink two nuts into there, so those nuts won't spin around and hopefully won't come out. If I have a problem with it coming out, I could probably epoxy them in or something like that. But the idea is that they don't spin and that they're stuck in my legs. Then I have these two sleeves that are threaded sleeves that perfectly match this quick release bolt. I know that these sleeves were designed specifically for this quick release bolt, so I know the fit is perfect. Just like that. So the cool part about these sleeves are, since they're threaded to that nut, I can change the spacing. So I can make it kind of a standard A-frame, or I can kind of make it a hanging A-frame and create space in there just by spinning these sleeves inside these nuts that are sunk into the wood. So to kind of try to give you an example of that, and how I can do all of this with just my hands. That's kind of the point of me trying to do this, is I didn't want to have any tools with me, any special tools with me at least, just to put my A-frames together. And then the other cool part about it would be, you know, if I just had some more nuts that were fixed, I could then have different length legs and use different size A-frames for what I wanted to do. So the idea of what I'm going to show you guys now is just kind of like how adjustable this has the potential to be, by starting out by making it kind of a normal looking hanging, or a normal looking A-frame, and then adjusting it so there's space to make it kind of a hanging A-frame. So I know kind of roughly how far I have to spin these, so hopefully you guys don't have to watch me tinker too much with this. I'd say so far the only tricky part is, since the only legs I have are super long, making sure this axle lines up perfectly. Sometimes if the feet are too close together, it wants to get pinched, but it's no big deal. So we got the bolt going through there, just my feet in, and there we go. You can see the two detemp balls right there just are starting to pop out, and there's no space in here at all. And I could give one of those sleeves a half a thread in, or half a turn in or out, and make sure that that's perfect. But you guys get the idea how it's locked in, and it would be like a normal A-frame, and I could spin it and just pivot it just like a normal A-frame would pivot there. So now the idea is no tools, and it can be a hang frame. So I'm just going to pop my quick release bolt out and adjust it so there's spacing in there. So I kind of found actually the easiest way to do it is to start by threading it in from the other way rather than threading it all the way through. So we will back these out. Really hoping this holds up and works really well. My only concern is that those nuts don't stay in. But like I said, I could epoxy them in if I really needed to. I just drilled a hole that was a little bit smaller than the widest diameter of that nut, and then that way all I had to do is I just then came in with a hand chisel and chiseled out kind of the edges of it so I could make that nut so it would sink into the hole and not want to spin around or move around on me at all. So do this side next. Other cool part about this is if you're really particular, you can adjust these sleeves so there's no slop on that quick release bolt, or you can make it so there's a little bit of slop, but you can adjust these sleeves so the tension is perfectly on those detent balls all the way up to the nut there. And also actually the quick release bolt itself is adjustable. By spinning that nut you can actually lengthen the bolt as well, which is another super cool feature about this setup. So if you had, if you didn't have as big of boards, or if you had even bigger boards, you could still potentially use the same idea with the same hardware. So now I'll just look at it to see how close I am. So those detemp balls aren't showing in there, so I know if I applied any pressure on there, these legs are just going to come apart. So we need to basically change these threadings, making that space shorter, so I can thread this one. Hopefully this way, hopefully I'm spinning it the right way. And we're just going to kind of go overkill. See if I'm getting it right. Just like that. Now we have a frame with a space. Hopefully this is a good idea. I'll let you guys know if it holds up or if it breaks apart the next time I use it. And you guys let me know if you guys think it's a good idea, or if you think this is a waste of time and you'd rather carry hardware with you and build your legs next to a cliff edge. So just my idea. Let me know how you guys think, if it's a good one or a bad one. Thanks.